The following documentary, Ambitions of Segregation, is presented to you by Imperialism Studios. This follows the trials and challenges of growing up around British values and segregation within schools around Britain. This documentary is suitable for all viewers and all ages.
Growing up.
Growing up. Growing up.
Growing up.
The 23.
My name's Brett, I'm 26, I'm currently a tutorial learning mentor and I'm also a maths tutor at Barnsley College. I've so far worked in, I think it's about 6 different schools, variation of primary, secondary, and now worked in a college as well, and I've also worked with special educational needs departments as well, so I've kind of got quite a breadth in terms of experience. The main schools I worked in were Ecclesfield Comprehensive, Hewlands Academy, and now Barnsley College.
Coming back to the subject of class sets, were you put in class sets when you was in school?
Yeah, I was in the top set for most things, but then I got moved down in my last year of school from the top set of maths to the second set of maths, which is ironic because I'm now a maths teacher.
Obviously Britain is a very socially divided country in terms of social class.
Yeah,
do you think the class sets, starting from set 1 to set 4, resemble the social differences of Britain?
I think so, speaking from experience. For example, at Hewlands, the last place I worked at, I know for a fact that probably about half of the top set year 7 class I was working with were all getting personal tutors outside of school. So obviously that straight away means that they're going to have a much better advantage in life generally in terms of with the importance of being put on maths nowadays by the government. And I think I don't like to say this because I don't personally want the class system to necessarily have that impact, but a lot of the lower set pupils' parents were of a working class family that haven't necessarily put as much of a priority on education throughout their life because they've got various practical skills that have allowed them to kind of just develop over time rather than learning them at school.
Yeah. So you say, would you say middle class people give better chances to their children by paying for private tutors?
Yeah, I'd say that basically because they've got the opportunity to do so. I wouldn't say that anyone from a working class family, if they had the money, wouldn't love to be able to do that and help the child a bit more. But obviously, like you say, when it comes to classes, that generally speaking, the middle class will have more money and will have that opportunity.
Hello, my name is Ava. I am 6. I live in Barnsley.
And do you know what you want to be when you get older?
A fashion designer. Because my mum gives me things to sew and stuff. Old clothes,
what they doing it?
Yeah.
And have you always wanted to do that then?
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you made things?
Yeah.
Are you going to go to college and do it?
College?
College? High school? Is that what you're going to do in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
College.
You put into sets in school, so are you in, there's high sets, low sets and medium?
Oh, you mean boys and girls?
Yeah.
Mixed up.
You're all mixed up?
Yeah.
So do you all do PE with boys, and do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like all the boys?
Yeah, well sometimes I get sent out to do reading and stuff.
In school, are you put into class sets? So for maths, do you get put into lower or higher sets?
I don't know.
You don't know? Hello. Do you want to tell us about yourself? What's your name?
Hello.
And how old are you?
3.
3. And do you know what you want to be when you get older?
A fairy.
Fairy. What colour?
A little one.
And where will you live?
In a fairy house.
Fairy house. With all your fairy friends?
Yeah, with that.
And
with lots of ice creams inside the fridge.
Ice creams?
Yeah. Fruity ones where water comes down the fridge. With fruity ones and rainbow ones. And with different colours and fruity ones.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, but
a lot of ice cream.
Yeah, different colours of, and they look like numbers.
Yeah. And do you like school?
Yeah.
You like school? What's your favourite lesson in school? You got a favourite teacher?
Yeah,
What's she called?
miss out it.
And what does she learn you? What
Li-
lesson?
Nothing.
Nothing. Hello.
Oh,
Do you want to introduce yourself?
yeah. My name's Indy, I'm 8.
Okay. Do you know what you want to be when you get older?
Footballer,
Who do you want to play for?
Real Madrid.
You always wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
In a mansion.
In a mansion. Where? What country?
America.
Do you know where in America? Just anywhere.
LA.
And then you're going to get all the money from being a footballer. Do you do football in school?
Yeah.
Do the girls do football in school?
No.
So do you not do PE with the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So don't you play football in PE?
Oh, we have this thing where we do it 3 times and then we go on to a different sport.
So do you all do it together, the girls and the boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you like that? Do you like to get to do the things with the girls?
No.
No, don't like them.
No.
Do you think that girls and boys in the schools are taught differently? Or do you think that you're all just taught the same?
We're just in the same lesson.
Hello.
Hi,
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Henry Cadilla.
And how old are you?
I'm 18.
Where are you originally from?
I was born in Congo.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
At that time, I didn't know what I wanted to be, but my dad pushed for me to be a football player. And I think how kids turn out to be, it's all down to their parents, how we are raised. It's to do with psychology. So my dad pushed for me to be a footballer, but I just wasn't good enough, so that never happened.
So what stood in the way of that? Was it just that you wasn't good enough?
Yeah, at that time I wasn't good enough, plus we didn't have the... He didn't, personally, he himself didn't know much about football for him to teach me how to be a good player and stuff like that.
So now what do you want to be when you get older?
Now I want to be a filmmaker.
And what are you doing to work towards that?
I'm currently in college, but I'm also going to university, but at the same time I personally don't think that's enough to make me become a filmmaker. With becoming a filmmaker, it takes time and effort, because it's a really tough industry to get into, so it's basically, it requires me to do stuff like go out of my way to film stuff, just practice, because practice makes perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, just practicing.
So how do you feel that you've changed and your ambitions have changed from being younger?
Well, I think with that, I think it's all to do with society and school as well, because I think school's a big part as well, because when I first came to the UK, I was in Leeds, and in Leeds I got put into the lowest set possible, really low set, where I didn't even get to choose what I wanted to do, so everything was chosen for me.
Yeah.
But then something ended up happening, meaning we got to move from Leeds to Rotherham, and in Rotherham in school I got put in the middle set, and with that it allowed me to choose what I want to do, so I chose acting and media.
Yeah.
And media, so if you look at it as in terms of this, if I stayed in Leeds,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting right here. If I stayed in Leeds, I wouldn't want to become a filmmaker. But because I moved to Rotherham, I got put in the middle set where I got to choose what I wanted to do.
Yep.
I think that's what led me to becoming a filmmaker.
Did you feel segregated throughout school for being a boy? Did you feel like you're segregated from the opposite gender at all?
Pretty much, yeah, because I think between boys and girls, how we are taught and how we are raised, I don't think it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
How guys can do certain things but girls can't do certain things, you know what I mean? I think everyone should have the freedom to express who they are, express themselves.
And do you think that that comes down to British values?
British values, that's a tough one.
Do you think that kind of the way that girls are taught and boys are taught in schools, how like in PE girls will do gymnastics and boys will do footballs, do you think that kind of comes down to what British values is about?
Yes and no, because yes, that they do teach that in Britain, but yeah, again, in the Western world, there's more freedom in terms of stuff like that. But when you go back to Africa, third world countries, you don't get that much. I mean, it's really strict, especially on women.
So, as you mentioned that you was put in class sets throughout school, how did you feel that this affected you?
Being put to class sets, well, I think it's got a really big part, because I think just like how your parents determine how you turn out to be, being put into class sets also this determines how you turn out to be. Like, for example, as I said, in Leeds, if I stayed in Leeds, then I wouldn't want to become a filmmaker, do you know what I mean? I don't know what I would have wanted to do, because I didn't get the option to do what I wanted to do. But then when I moved to Rotherham, I got put into the middle set, so I got to choose what I wanted to do. So I chose acting and graphics, and those things led me to come into college to do acting. Then from college, while I was doing acting, I discovered filmmaking and I fell in love with it, because me, I'm a person who struggles to express myself through talking, and I've always wanted to change the world. Like, some part of me, like, I wanted to be a superhero, I just want to change the world, but I'm not good at talking, I ain't got superpowers, so I felt like film is my way of expressing myself. Do you know what I mean? Because film has the power to convey and provoke people, do you know what I mean, in so many ways. And yeah, so if I stayed in Leeds and stayed in the lower set, then I don't think I'll be who I am today. So yeah.
So finally, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years time?
I see myself living in a caravan.
In a caravan?
Yeah.
Why?
Because personally, right, I do not care for money. Like, money is a big part of society, but I just don't care for money. Like, I'm happy. Literally, I'll be happy living in a caravan. Literally.
Brilliant.
I know it sounds crazy, but I do not care for money. I'd rather live in a caravan and just make money. But what I really want to do at one point in my career, like, my end goal is to open my own film school in Africa. Somewhere in Africa, it could be anywhere really, because I feel like there's so much undiscovered talent there, do you know what I mean? There's so much undiscovered talent everywhere you go, but in Africa I think there's something special about it. And because when you come to the UK, it's like you have a platform you get a platform to express yourself, to show your creativity, but in Africa there isn't that many platforms for you to express yourself, do you know what I mean? So it's just giving kids that platform, because I think, right, maybe I wasn't meant to change the world. Maybe I was meant to inspire someone else to change the world, you know what I mean? Maybe not, the world's gonna get changed, not in this generation, maybe the next generation. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So instead of doing it yourself, you'd like to teach people to do it?
To do it, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Morgan, 11 years old.
Right. So first I'm going to ask you about schools and about British values. What do you want to be when you get older?
A professional skateboarder.
And is that something that you've always wanted to be?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be a professional skateboarder?
Because my dad and my uncle both ride skateboards.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Still skateboarding.
Are you put into group sets at school?
Yeah. For some subjects I'm in top set, and then for some other subjects I'm in bottom. No, not bottom. Second set.
And do you think that affects you at all?
No, because some people, they're a bit more disruptive in lessons, so they're put in like bottom, like lower sets.
Do you think that boys are taught differently to the girls in the school?
Sometimes, it depends. Like sometimes everybody just like, in a lesson, everybody just like friends, but if it's not in a lesson, then most people don't really talk to many girls.
During this documentary, we found out that, especially in PE, girls are segregated more from boys. Have you noticed this in your school?
Yeah, we didn't have PE lessons with girls.
Yeah. Do you have any thought on why that might be?
I think it's because girls have more like, they like gymnastics and things. Like some girls like football, but like other boys, like a lot of boys like football and things.
So do you think it'd be right for the girls to be able to play football as well and have the chance to do that?
I think in my school they do like 4 weeks on football in both like boys and girls.
Right. And finally, are you enjoying being a kid? Do you like being a kid, or are you rushing to grow up?
It's okay.
So you're enjoying it? Hello.
Hello,
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Patricia Ann Newman and I'm 72 and I was born 1943.
What did you want to be when you was in primary school and high school?
When I was in primary school I wanted to be a district nurse because my friend's mother was, and then when I got older I wanted to be a designer. But I was a teenage bride, so I never was.
So, what did you end up becoming when you got older, and what do you feel like stood in the ways of your ambitions?
Well, I could always dressmake. I used to dressmake for people, and my job was I was a cutter for sergeants, making they made clothes for Marks and Spencers.
And do you feel that anything stood in the way of your ambitions? As you mentioned being a young bride, do you feel that that had like anything to do with you not going into designing?
Well, you'd have had to go to night school, and I got 2 kids then, so it wasn't an option.
Yeah. So children now are a lot different to children when they was your age. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Well, when I was a teenager, we were out every night, rock and roll and all that. You know what I mean? But you seem to stay in on your computers and...
So you think technology is a big part of it?
Yeah, it wasn't around when I was young.
In high school or primary school, did you feel that you were segregated from the opposite gender?
Yeah, I went to realist school. I took me 11 plus and I failed it. And then these girls that passed went to high school, boys that passed went to grammar school, and us that didn't pass, we went to realist school, but it was still segregated from boys.
So there was no interaction with the boys at all?
No.
Were you put in sets throughout school, like low, medium, high? Like in maths, for example, you can get put into low groups or really high groups.
Yeah, I were all the average me at school.
So medium. So in the medium.
Yeah,
group.
medium.
And how did you feel like that affected you?
Not really, I was with a lot of my friends anyway.
Did you feel like you were segregated throughout school?
Yes, and for a reason. Because if you was known obvious as struggling, you would be put in a lower set, so you would gain help. But if you was known obvious that you was doing very well, you'd be put in a higher set.
How did the school class system determine your future?
It didn't. So,
You don't think it sort of changed the way that of your thought process on, say you wanted to be something and then school sort of put that aside and said, well, you need to be in this set and you need to do this?
no, not at all. I focused on my one goal, and that was to enter the army, get into the army, and have a career throughout the army. I set myself that goal, I focused on that goal, and I developed on that and focused a way around it, even if school was an obstacle. I worked around it, I got fit, and I carried on.
Was being in the army an original dream of yours, or was there something that you wanted to be
No.
when you were younger? Was there an ambition before the army?
No, absolutely not.
So you wanted to be in the army since very young?
Yeah, yes, indeed, yes.
Did you learn more in school or outside, like personal learning?
Personal learning, definitely. I've learned more
from other people out of school, watching, I know it sounds a bit silly, but watching TV on my computer. I've learned from personal experiences, and just, yeah, you learn.
It's more hands-on, isn't it?
A lot more
so
hands-on, yeah.
When you're in school, you're in a class and you're being told to do stuff, but when you're outside, it's your own time and it's your own way of thinking, and it's sort of thinking for yourself.
A lot more people learn hands-on than they do than inside reading a book. Right.
Hello.
Hi,
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Evie Cook, I'm a figure skater,
How old are you?
16.
And what kind of figure skating do you do?
I do mainly shows and competitive figure skating.
Have you got any shows coming up?
I'm doing a Disney Princess one this weekend coming where I'll be dressing up and performing in front of children.
Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years time?
Hopefully on cruise ships performing in like Mexico and the Caribbean.
We're here today with the Mayor of Rotherham, Maggie Clark. Now Maggie, we just want to discuss about schooling systems. First question is, whilst at school, were you ever put into class systems, class sets, like set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4?
Yes, I went to an infant school, and then a junior school, both mixed, and then at that time people had to sit what they called the 11 plus, which I sat and passed, and ended up going to an all girls grammar school. I went there, and there were never any sets before. There were just classes, different classes. But these were sets, and there were 3 sets. I was in the top set all the way through. But that happened all the way through my education.
You mentioned that you were put into an all-girls school. Do you feel this was a segregation act, like, against the boys, or did you think that you felt segregated just going to all-girls school?
I didn't really feel anything. I was 11 years old. I didn't know any different. I didn't enjoy it because it was right across the other side of the town where I lived, which is Rotherham, and only 3 of my school friends went to the same school, so I felt very lonely. I didn't really think of anything else at 11, I'll be honest.
Now you also mentioned that you was in the top set. Do you think the set system is really a resemblance of the social class within Britain? Like higher class, middle class, lower class?
I think the grammar school system was more indicative of that than the comprehensive system is, most definitely. That the number of girls that went to the high school when I was there came from white middle class families. There was a higher proportion of that. If you were in the top set, you did Latin, German and French. If you were in the middle set, you did French and German. And if you were in the bottom set, you did French.
Would you say this has had a big implement in your future? Has it opened the doors to your targets and goals in the future?
No, I don't think so. I think what I did when I finished at school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was much later that I went to Sheffield Poly and managed to do what I actually wanted to do.
Okay, what did you want to be while she was in school?
A ballerina.
A ballerina.
And I couldn't be a ballerina because I was about 6 inches too short and my toes bled when I was on block points and shoes.
Okay. Do you think school also had an effect on what you wanted to become?
No, it didn't let me be a ballerina, did it? No. No, at the time, I think I didn't realise how important education was, even though I was very fortunate to be given a very good all-round education. I don't think at that age I really realised how important it is in your future life. Each person's life is an open page, and we write on it the way, hopefully, we want to write on it. I know not everybody has the opportunity, but we write on it the way we want to write on it. And we should never write on it because somebody else thinks that's the way it should be done.
My name's Ava.
My name's Patricia.
What's the worst part growing up?
Worst part of being old is looking in the mirror and wondering who it is. What's the worst part of being young?
It's worse doing lots of work. What's the best part being old?
Well, being at marriage and being able to go abroad and things. What's the best part of being young?
I get to play with my friends.
Right. Do you want to grow up?
Yeah, because I want to go to high school.
Right, very good. Do you feel like you're rushing it to grow up?
A bit.
Do you think you've got a good relationship
with boys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you've got a boyfriend. Do you think boys and girls should be treated the same?
Yep.
What is the worst part of growing up?
Worst part of growing older?
Yeah.
I think not being able to do things that you used to be able to do. Well, when you're older, you still feel young inside, but you look in the mirror and you know.
What's the best part of growing up?
Best part of growing up?
Best part.
You ain't got responsibilities of what you've got when you're young, i.e. a mortgage and everything. It's been paid off 20 odd years, so now I don't have that. I've been on cruises and things.
Do you wish you were young again?
And certainly I don't.
Well, why do you wish you were young again?
Well, when I was young, we'd only black and white telly.
Yeah.
No media stuff like you've got. Not at all. I don't know, we had plenty of fun like. As a teenager and stuff. We used to go out bopping and rock and roll and all that. If you want to do something, do it.
Do it, yeah, definitely.
And ask, so can I have a go at that?
Never go, so definitely, so...
Instead of sitting back and not thinking, instead of doing this job, I wouldn't mind doing that job. You have to say. And if they say no, it's no, but most of the time it's yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Habib Bayan. I'm 19 and I'm currently in my last year of college.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Gambia.
Whereabouts in Gambia?
Gambia, which is based in West Africa. I moved here when I was age 4 or 5. Here I am.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
I think when I was younger, I really wanted to become a footballer. Football was my aim.
And what stood in the way of those ambitions and dreams?
I think it was really down to spending more time on the pitch. I know that I had a chance to do a football scholarship, but at the time I didn't have the grades that I was meant to have to get onto that scholarship. So it was the grades that got in my way.
So from them old dreams and ambitions, what do you now want to be?
Now I want to become a businessman. I want to hopefully go to university and I want the course to do that.
And what are you doing now to work towards that?
I'm currently in my last year of college and I already have a place at university to study business management.
And where will you be studying?
London South Bank, which is in Suffolk, in South South Bank of London.
So how do you feel your ambitions from when you were younger has changed?
I think it has changed drastically because, you know, like people change and the way in which you think changes. So I think college has been a big impact of the way in which I've changed my future ambitions.
Yep.
Without college, I don't think I would really have this ambition to study at university.
Did you feel segregated throughout school being a boy?
Not as a boy, but I did feel segregated in terms of the qualifications and how much, you know, the class sets they put us into.
What class set was you in?
I wasn't really in the highest sets. I was always in like set 3, and I did not really think that was quite fair because, you know, each person has their own way of learning. So I was quite positive towards learning, but the sets I was put into, there was a lot of badly behaved
disruptive
students.
people.
Yeah, disruptive people, which affected my, you know, concentration.
Yeah. As you mentioned that you'd grown up in Gambia, do you feel that you were segregated when you moved to Britain at all due to race?
I think there are racial issues, but not really. Because when I moved to Gambia, I came into Leeds, and I moved into Barnsley, which was there are people who are opinionated towards racial issues, and there were different people who had different views. So I think there was that kind of racial segregation.
When living in Gambia, did you actually attend school?
Yeah, I attended school. It was like a nursery school.
How do you feel that the schooling systems in Gambia differs to the English?
Oh, the schooling system differed very much in terms of the way in which they basically segregate students. I think in England, the segregation isn't as bad compared to Gambia. For example, in Gambia, if you fail the first year or if you fail a certain class, you can't progress on to the next, and there are no resits or exams. Whereas in Britain, it gives you that chance to resit exams, and you have to progress to the next level.
So it's a lot harsher in Gambia?
Yeah, it's much more harsher, and I would say the English and the British schooling system is quite fairer. It gives opportunity for those who are wanting to, you know, improve themselves. Yeah. Whereas in Gambia, you can't resit exams, so you only have one shot. And
so what are the main differences that you can see and pick out between Gambian and British values?
I think in British value, in terms of schooling, the discipline children using various, you know, forces, whereas in Britain, the discipline children through, you know, bans or exclusions, and it's not physically kind of forcing people to do things. So yeah, it's quite fair for those who are wanting to progress and work hard in class. England really does give you the opportunity to resit exams. It's quite fair. Yeah. But I think it's really down to the person and how you, what kind of basically how you see yourself, how you want to progress into the next stage. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Congo. How about you?
I'm originally from Amsterdam. What were your dreams and ambitions as a child?
As a child, I didn't know what I wanted to be. What I wanted to be is what my parents told me I want to be. You know what I mean? I didn't have a choice really of what I wanted to be, and my dad wanted me to become a footballer, but like I said, I wasn't very skilled at it. That wasn't me, you know what I mean? So yeah. How about you? What did you want to be when you were young?
When I was younger, I had a lot of things. I wanted to be a musician for a while, and then I wanted to be a therapist when I started with my OCD, so I had a lot of things. What's been in the way of your ambitions?
My ambition, becoming a footballer, is just not good enough, I suppose. How about you? Why didn't you become a musician?
Growing up, I decided that especially when I was watching bands, I kind of decided I didn't want to be on the stage, I'd rather be behind the camera.
Would you say fear of caring what people thought as well? That's kind of... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite shy. How did you feel that the British schooling system treated you?
Treated me, I know it's because I moved from different place to place, or different places that treat you differently. In Leeds, probably I wouldn't say that good, but then in Rotherham it was okay. But then I moved to college. I moved to Barnsley College, and it was pretty alright. How about you?
I think I've always been treated pretty fairly in school. I've always been treated like the other kids were, so there's not really much I can say on that. Do you feel segregated throughout school due to the opposite gender?
Not in terms of the opposite gender, but in terms of race, pretty much, yeah. In terms of race.
What kind of things?
Just normal things. First of all, the colour of my skin, probably the way I spoke as well, because I didn't speak proper English.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just little stuff like that. But looking at it back right now, do you know what I mean? It doesn't really bother me as much as it did when I was younger. But I guess when we were younger, is even at this age, people still, I think people are not really themselves. They're too scared to be themselves because they care what other people think of them. Do you know what I mean? So I think even anyone in this room, like looking at everyone in this room, I don't think anyone is really themselves. Why? Because they care what other people think about them. So yeah.
Was you in primary school in another country?
Yeah.
And how did you feel the schooling system was different?
Just a bit more strict.
And did you feel that the segregation between genders was stronger in Britain or in the country you was born in?
Probably in the country I was born in, yeah. Because in Britain, I think they're relaxed about it. They're more relaxed about it.
In schools, was you put in schooling sets?
In the UK? Yeah, I was put in sets. So in Leeds, I was put into the lower set, but then moved to Rotherham, I got put into the middle set. How about you?
I was always in the lower set for like, if it was anything creative like art, I'd be in kind of middle top group, but if it was maths, I'd be in the lowest group.
Set, yeah.
Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Talenton Love and I'm from Bradford and I'm 19 years old.
Talent, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Zimbabwe and I came in England in 2007 when I was 10 years old.
What did you want to become when you was younger?
When I was younger, my main goal, what I wanted to become was to become a footballer. That was my dream.
So do you play for any kind of football teams or played for any?
I played for Barnsley from when I was 10 years old until I was 18 years old where I just got released.
Yeah. So what stood in the way of your ambition of becoming a footballer?
Well, the main things of course is getting released and that sort of like brings it down a bit. But you just got to be mentally strong and also like injuries that stood into my way as well as I've received a lot of injuries.
Yeah. So your ambition was to become a footballer. Was that your ambitions when you was younger?
Yeah, when I was younger, yeah.
What did you do to work towards your ambitions of becoming a footballer?
Well, I just made sure that I played football every day, trained every day, and played for teams like Sunday League teams, and that's where I got started.
Yeah. Has that changed your ambitions towards football, even though you got released?
No, it hasn't changed my ambitions, not at all. But I've made sure that I've got a plan B there, and that my plan B is to become an electrical engineer, which is something that I've wanted to become as well when I was a kid.
Okay, is there anything you're doing to work towards becoming an engineer?
Yeah, I'm doing a course right now on electrical engineering. Yes, 3-year course.
Back to your education, did you feel segregated through school? Like in any way, shape or form, like class sets, putting people in lower sets or higher sets?
No, not really, because in school really I was sort of like in lower sets, and I think that made me want to work harder because I didn't want to be in that set, so that sort of like helped me to motivate me.
Yeah. Was there any people in the class that were disruptive towards your learning or anything like that?
Yeah, well, you always have one of them every time.
Yeah. So.
And I was probably one of them.
Yeah. So you think having a more positive attitude towards learning can help?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Coming back to Africa, you said you was from Zimbabwe. How was schooling different from Zimbabwe to England?
Yeah, the schooling from Zimbabwe to England was very different. Like in Zimbabwe was very, very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict, yeah, totally different from how it is here.
So, what are the differences between British and Zimbabwean values when it comes to school? like disciplining people, or what kind of values do they have in there that would differ from British?
Well, the discipline. If you misbehave, basically you'll get hit by the teachers.
Yeah.
As bad as it sounds. And here it's like you just get a telling off. But in Zimbabwe, they'll hit you.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're behaving.
Well, how does that?
Which I found, I thought it was. I wouldn't want to do it, but I thought it was like a good thing because it made people think straight. Because if you misbehave, you're gonna get hit, and no one wants to get hit, so people will behave. Yeah.
So how does that differ to British? What do British schools do if you misbehave or if you're not working towards, working hard towards?
Well, it's either a telling off or suspended or get thrown out of class.
Did you get any suspension during school?
During school, no, I never got any suspension.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, where do you see yourself in 10 or 5 years time?
I see. Well, right now I mainly see myself as an engineer.
Engineer.
Probably, hopefully, have my own business in engineering. Yeah. And also having my own business in the clothing line.
Clothing line. That's good. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Tyler.
Cheers.